What is going on? We are live. You caught me like having to do the switch over real quick. I got a laptop and don't know how to act. It ain't my fault. But you know what it is. It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. We back with another one. It's Philly, the podcast. I did that all in one breath. We got my man's right here, Brandon. As always, say what up to the people.
Yes, sir.
But today we have a very special guest. As always, we got SheGotSports, Lauren from SheGotSports. How are you doing? First of all, welcome to Philly, the podcast. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This is my first live stream I've done with fans other than the Giants. So
there we go.
Here we go.
The Lions, then we're not too rough. I promise.
I'm not either. I'm very. I don't trash talk. I'm not if anyone tries to trash talk me in my comment section, I'm just like, okay, cool.
That's really.
I'm not really trying to fight.
Yeah, we got a pretty good community. Usually people are pretty tame. They usually go at each other, not so much.
Yeah. No one really tries. I think no one really tries to trash talk me because I don't talk trash in my videos.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
we're Eagles fans. We're Eagles fans. Right now, we don't have much trash to talk to Giants fans, right. So it is.
Listen, I don't have much to say right now either in this moment.
It's the NFC lead. So, let's talk. Because, all right, so obviously going into this season, I feel like, especially me, I know me and Brandon talked about this a lot. We kind of felt like the Eagles had maybe a leg up, having the same staff, having, a proven quarterback and just a proven system. Obviously you guys went out and got Joe Judge. Daniel Jones was kind of the topic of conversation, preseason and even the offseason. We know the Washington football team had a whole bunch of dismay before the season started. Yeah. And then the Dallas Cowboys are the Dallas Cowboys. So we thought, maybe the Eagles would just sneak out with just an easy, season in the NFC East. It's not looking like that. It's looking like the NFC East is still maybe up for grabs. But you guys have done well. You guys obviously beat us. You guys, on the way to beating us, had a good 5 or 6 game win streak. Talk to me about how you're feeling about these Giants, and the NFC in general.
Well, right now, about the Giants, I don't feel great, honestly. 4-game win streak, and then you lose 2 games in a row, by a lot. And then Daniel Jones is hurt in not just one leg, but 2 legs, which, isn't great because you need those. And, it looks like people – I don't know if people are going to be mad at me for saying this, but I feel like people realize, it looks like Washington's going to win the division. Honestly, Giants lose next week and Washington wins, that's it. So – I think a lot of people were very excited after the Seahawks game, maybe a little too excited. It was great. I can't lie. It was great. Didn't expect it at all. But right now I'm just I shouldn't have got my hopes up. I know never to do that with the Giants.
Right.
And then I did, and I'm like, oh no. So there's a lot of questions. But with the NFC East as a whole, I think next season will be better. Towards the end of the season, they've done some things, Giants beat the Seahawks. Eagles beat the Saints. Washington beat the Steelers. Dallas beat the Vikings earlier this year, and then they beat the 49ers. That's not as crazy as, I would say, the Saints-Eagles game or, the Giants-Seahawks or Washington-Steelers. But listen, the NFC East has had some good moments this year. So yeah. I think next year we'll see improvements. I don't think the division will be as bad. We'll probably talk about Jalen Hurts on here, I'm assuming.
Yes.
But I think the NFC East is on the rise. Well, it can't go any lower, so it kind of has to be on the rise.
It definitely can't get lower than where we are now.
Facts.
But yeah, just to play along what you were saying about just all of a sudden getting your hopes up. I feel like every team in the NFC East this year hasn't been able to just sit back and be all right, my season's over. Because no matter how bad we're doing, we're all still in it. We all are 1 game of one team losing and winning that game of being back in first place. It's crazy. And then we get a home game on top of that. Whoever wins the division gets a home game.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It's you could possibly, there's not fans in every stadium this year, but not having to travel still, whoever wins the division could possibly win their first game. Who would it be? Seattle as of right now that they would play?
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know.
And imagine if it's
Washington almost
Giants
beat
versus Seattle
Seattle.
again. That would be hilarious.
That would.
You
I would
know,
be nervous to go against Russell Wilson again, though.
you know,
Like,
Oh,
I told you my background as far as my family goes with the whole Giants. You know, I have a whole Giants clan
yeah, I
that
was
goes
surprised
to
you
my
said your
family.
whole
So
family is Giants fans except for
it's
you.
frustrating. I think I have like maybe one or two Patriots fans that just are outliers with me, but you know, it is what it is. But I have a soft spot for the Giants. I said this on a previous stream. I feel like I see a lot of what made the Giants win that Super Bowl when they had Eli in this team now. Maybe not obviously as good, but they're a sneakily good team. I mean, you got a good defense, you have a good running game, you know, even without Saquon Barkley. I think, and this can be said probably about everybody in the NFC East. I feel like quarterback play is kind of going to decide where any of these teams can go. You know what I'm saying?
I think I saw a stat that said, I forget who posted this stat. Maybe like that football Twitter account, like My Sports Update, like that. You know, it's like it's like the football Twitter account that has everything. I think they posted that every team in the NFC East has been in first and last place this season, and every team in the NFC East has played with more than one quarterback this season. So there's definitely not a lot of quarterback stability in the NFC East this year.
it's been a
I mean,
weird
Dwayne
year.
Haskins went from the starter to the third string quarterback to the backup to then the starter again last week. Like, what?
Yeah. And like you said, we've all shown like, I feel like we've all shown flashes of like possible resurgence. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
with the Eagles, it might have taken until Jalen Hurts went in. If I'm being 100% honest, I can't really
Yeah.
think of a game that the Eagles played that I was like, oh, we have hope. You
No,
know what I'm
that Saints
saying?
game. I was watching that Saints game. I was like, whoa.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, even if you go back, it was a losing game, but at least against like Pittsburgh and the Ravens, we showed a fight, even if it was
Mhm.
like at the end of the game getting points kind of fight. But it still looked closer than when we played teams that we were supposed to beat and we were just getting manhandled out there, just looking embarrassing.
Yeah, facts. And I mean injuries. You know, it's been a COVID season. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's a bad word to say on the internet now, but you know, it's been an irregular season. You know, so let's talk about our quarterbacks a little bit. I'll let Brandon start. How are you feeling about Hurts? How are you feeling about the NFC East quarterbacks in general? You know, has anybody stuck out to you, or what do you think that next year is going to look like as far as our quarterbacks go?
To start off with Hurts, Hurts has been playing well. You can't take that away from him. I mean, the numbers are the numbers, the stats are the stats. And they're not even garbage time stats at that. Like he was in both of these games. Obviously, we beat the Saints against Taysom Hill, who's a similar type of quarterback, and then with a great defense, and we beat them convincingly. And then, I mean, yeah, they got their touchdown toward the end and almost got that onside kick, but whatever about that. And then against the Cardinals, against Kyler, like they were going neck for neck. It was a great game. Like that was just coming down to the end. Like those are kind of the games that you don't get really, really mad about losing. Nobody wants to lose, but that just showed promise in him and just the escapability, the quick reactions, the not if he's not seen it, he's taken off. He's really and then looking downfield, that fumble and picking up and throwing the ball, those are just great highlights, and you can't take that away from him. And for the NFC East, I guess the quarterback that stood out is, I mean, you got to give him his congratulations, Alex Smith, coming back after his gruesome injury, his gruesome surgeries. Like his leg is the nastiest thing you'll see. And then on top of that, he's getting cut, bleeding, and still playing. And he was part of that winning streak. And if Washington loses this weekend, it's because Alex Smith isn't out there. So we got to hope that he's not out there. But Dwayne Haskins is not doing himself any favors by going out into the public without wearing a mask on and none of that and being seen on social media. So I think Alex Smith has really stepped his game up. And out of the quarterbacks in the East, I mean, I feel like he deserves the most kudos right now.
So you could take it next one.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. So I don't
No,
like
you good.
go ahead of anyone. But yeah, I know I agree. Just like going off Alex Smith right there, like I mean, he came in, it was actually versus the Giants that he came in that game, like midway through. He didn't look great in that game, but obviously that's very understandable. I mean, he threw a few interceptions late. Like he hadn't played in a while, was obviously coming back from one of the worst injuries ever. So actually, wait, he played in the Rams game that was like a few games before, but still, like he wasn't the starter at that point either way. Like I think Allen went out with like an injury in the Rams game, and then Alex Smith just played like the rest of that game, and then wasn't the starter or anything after that. Yeah. So I mean, he came in versus Giants, was still a little rusty, but then after that, it just seemed like he got his groove as the starter, became the starter, because unfortunately that was a season-ending injury, as we all know. And yeah, I mean, it's just like it really is just a crazy story. I've said this. I'm like, let's make a not just like a documentary, because I know there was a documentary, but like feature film, like big budget Hollywood, like let's
like
go.
The Blind Side type.
Yeah, like we need a movie about that. Like it's just a crazy story. So honestly, if Washington does make the playoffs, I like, as a Giants fan, I'm sad, but it's like, okay, listen, like Alex Smith is a great story. I can't be upset. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, like I would like to see Washington make a little playoff run. Why not? Like, after all that team has been through this year, after all that Ron Rivera has been through this year, like it's a feel good team. Like I can't say it's not. So, right. Yeah, that's my thoughts about Alex Smith. About Jalen Hurts, I mean, I don't want to be like I was surprised, but he's done more than I think anyone expected, or more than anyone could have asked of him coming in. What are we at? Like 3, like, well, I mean, there's two weeks left in the season. So he came in like when 75% of the season was done 2 weeks ago. Like, that's 2 weeks ago right now. 2 games is 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 games, 2 weeks. But I mean, the Saints, like, that was a statement right there. Really, I didn't understand why they weren't using him more early on. Like every play, well, I didn't watch every Eagles game, obviously, but when I watched the Eagles, it seemed like every time they brought in Hurts, they were going to run, and I was like, why don't you let this guy throw the ball? He can throw the ball. Like it was like you knew every time he came in, they were going to run the ball. So I didn't understand why they didn't even let him throw when Carson was the starter. It's not like it's not like you have a running back lining up back there. Right. It's Jalen Hurts. Like, I didn't understand that. So when he did come in and start, I don't want to say I was surprised, but like he really exceeded my expectations. And what did he throw for 4 touchdowns last week versus the Cardinals?
I think it was
3 and he ran 1.
And then,
3 and ran 1. And what was it? How many passing yards? It was like, I know Kyler had like 400, right?
Yeah, Kyler went crazy, which was to be expected. I mean, our defense is.
I mean, but they both did. I was like, I know they both put up crazy numbers. I don't know if they both got over 400, but yeah, over 300. Like, I don't know. I think he gave the team a spark. I don't know what you do about Carson's contract, though. But I think, out of the quarterbacks, I think, like you said, Alex Smith has been the most impressive, but Jalen Hurts has been like I don't know, like the new spark, like the new interesting young quarterback. I love watching these young quarterbacks play. And then Dak, like just to talk about Dak for a second, because I feel bad. Like Dak was having a career year before the injury. I mean, it really stunk when he got hurt. But I don't know, like, will he be back with the Cowboys next year? Some people are saying, oh, no, maybe he won't be. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling he will be back with the Cowboys, but
unless he gets his contract and he gets a 4-year, whatever deal he wants or close to it, then he should sign it. If they're going to come back and try to franchise him again, I wouldn't do it. I would pull the Le'Veon Bell. I would sit out. He has mad money. He has endorsement money. He just made 35 or 30-ish mil this season alone from signing the franchise tag. So at that point, sit out. Don't even risk getting hurt again for whatever reason. Don't let Jerry talk you into it. And get your money. He can play elsewhere. He will get signed.
He definitely can. Like, I mean, he was having – what was it? He threw for over 500 yards one game, I think. Like, I think he just got over 500 yards. Like, consistently, like, 300, 400-yard games. Just, like, he was the reason they were winning.
And it's crazy because if you look at it – I know, right? Hindsight is 2020 on that one. I mean, if you look at it, as far as Dallas Cowboys fans and Eagles fans, we've been arguing the whole, like, Dak and Carson are going to be the future of the NFL, the future, 10-year battle for Eagles versus Cowboys. Neither of them might not even be in the NFC East next year. So it's crazy.
I didn't even think about that. That is pretty.
I didn't even – it's crazy because, to stay on what you said with Jalen Hurts, I think everybody was surprised just basically because – and we were surprised, but we also weren't surprised. And here's why: because with the Eagles, especially with their front office, it seems they can't get anything right. I feel like our backups have been playing way better than our starters were, and it makes no sense. Maybe it's play calling, maybe it's coaching, whatever it may be, but we just can't seem to get it right anywhere. Right. So I was happy that Jalen Hurts went crazy. I've been telling Brandon, on and off stream that we need to just put the kid in, see what he has.
Yeah, I was going to say, put the kid in. Like, why not? The season isn't going well at all.
Right.
It can't get any worse.
Does he increase his, let's say if the Eagles wanted to run with Wentz, does he increase his trade value? At this point, are people looking at him and be like, maybe he was a first-round quarterback and not a second-round quarterback to a team that didn't necessarily need a quarterback at that time? Would the Packers have drafted Jordan Love instead of Jalen Hurts, or further down earlier in the draft, would a team picked up Jalen Hurts just to put it on their roster if they needed a quarterback? Because there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to need quarterbacks that have old people playing right now.
Oh, I shook my head no, because I thought you said is Carson Wentz a first-round quarterback?
No.
I was talking about. No, you're yeah. I just didn't want to seem like I was shaking my head about Hurts. I was shaking my head about Wentz, him being someone who could get a first-round pick.
If Wentz can get us a pick in general and get us off that money, I mean, I'm not mad at that.
I don't know what not that I always was saying this, but this year I've just been saying it's crazy what happened to Carson Wentz. Ever since that injury, it just seems like it's been slowly going downhill. I mean, not as much at first, not as much right after that next season or whatever that he played, but this season is just. I mean, also I'll say their play calling at times.
At times,
questionable.
Every time.
I don't know. Miles Sanders is I feel like he averages 5 yards per carry in games, and they're like, let's not do that. They're
seriously.
Yeah,
we reverse psychology. It's working, so let's not do it, and maybe they'll be surprised. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's let's not feed them because they're hungry. Maybe they'll get a little bit. They'll work harder when they're hungry. No, that's not how it works. And even lately with Jalen Hurts, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you see Doug switching the play call." No, he's not. We're still only running the ball with our running backs maybe 18 times. I think is the most that we've done it. So it's
Sanders didn't even get 20 touches this past week. He still got under 20. It's Doug's allergic to giving him the ball 20 plus times, and it doesn't make sense to me.
It's just anytime I watch an Eagles game, I'm like, what? I feel like the first drive they run the ball, it works, and they're like, no.
Yeah,
that was enough for today. That was enough running the ball for today.
Seriously, they bring him back to the line. They're like, "Are you good now? You got your 3 touches. All right. Let's go back to passing every other down." But I mean, we talked about it, so let's touch on it a little bit more. What would you think someone like Carson Wentz or even Dak Prescott, if they were to try to franchise tag and trade him or something crazy? Who knows? Jerry Jones is a different breed of animal. So what do you think one of those quarterbacks would be worth in the open market next year, and who maybe you see them going to?
I would assume that Wentz would be worth at least a second round pick. I would assume, just because of what he's put out there, what his potential can be, or did we see a ceiling? But I would say at the very least, maybe a second round pick, hopefully. I'm not saying that it could be even less, but I'm hoping for a second if it's a trade type scenario. But for a team, I mean, there's plenty of teams that are going to need quarterbacks. I don't know if the Broncos are really sold on Drew Lock. I don't know if the 49ers are really sold on Jimmy Garoppolo. He's another one. He's injury prone himself. He's hurt all the time. He was hurt on the Patriots, and now he's been hurt with the 49ers. So, and then you figure the Jets, I don't even know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother
now the
thing.
Jaguars have the number 1 pick, so maybe they love Justin Fields. I don't know. And then you can go down the list. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, so it's tough. Apparently the Colts are ruled out. They're saying that they wouldn't pay Wentz, but that could also be I'm
just gonna hold on. You can keep going after I say. Have I not been saying this for the longest time? Everybody's telling me I'm crazy. Oh yeah,
but
no
they
way.
paid Phillip Rivers.
They could get Colts. I've been saying this forever. There's no sense in paying for someone you have to fix,
They just
especially if
paid
you
for
have a good
they
team.
just paid for Rivers, and Rivers is not good. He has a noodle arm.
Hey,
That
but
guy,
they can draft somebody. But I digress. I'm just happy that
I don't know.
I got a little bit
I
of
ag-
confirmation. I'm
I
sorry.
agree with you when it comes to drafting a guy, but at the same time, if you're looking to win now and you're not in the top couple picks, you're gonna be drafting a guy that people would just be using as like a build-up quarterback, someone that they're just going to put on the scout team and hopefully that they turn out good. You're not going to draft a guy and hope you're going to win the Super Bowl within a year in the mid to late rounds. But I think Dak has a wide open market compared to Carson because obviously the contract, he's able to create a new contract, but he's going to be a high price tag too. He just looked a lot better this year, even though it's a short sample size than Wentz.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even know though. I don't know if Wentz is gonna get a second round pick back, to be honest. Because I think about like the quarterback draft class this year. I mean, there's 4, I would say, pretty good quarterbacks that are going to go. 4 quarterbacks that I think are definitely going to go in the first round. Maybe even 6, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, definitely 5, because I think Trask will go in the first round. Mac Jones will probably go somewhere. Like, there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks taken this year, I think, in the first round. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily great for these quarterbacks' values. I mean, like Jimmy Garoppolo, when he was traded to the 49ers, that was for a second-round pick. And then you have this contract, and Wentz has also been trending in the opposite direction that Garoppolo was when he got traded. So I don't know. Maybe there'll be like a 4th round and a 3rd round pick. I don't know.
I can see that. I can see. Honestly,
I think it's gonna be like
it's a
2
trade.
picks, to be honest, and maybe like 1 this year and 1 next year. That type of thing. It's just that contract. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm honestly not good at the money stuff and the money side of this, but like, I don't know how much the Eagles will have to eat of it or whatever. But I know it's just like a lot of money.
Yeah,
It's a
and
lot of money
that's the whole thing. I mean, if you can get off of the contract, I think the Eagles take that as a win. So like I said earlier, if we can get a 4th, if we can get a 5th and not have to give up anything but his contract and Wentz, and it's a clean break, I think that Philadelphia would jump on that just because you kind of have to, know. But go ahead,
But he could also restructure his contract if he really wanted to.
Because he wants to. Is it like, I don't think I saw anything like official, but he apparently wants out now, right?
Yeah, there was conflicting. Yeah, there was a conflicting article saying one day they wanted out, and then the next day he's sitting with Jalen Hurts on the bench eating ice cream. So I'm not sure, what they really want to do. And to your point of saying he could restructure, he could restructure. I don't think he would restructure to help the Eagles as far as draft picks go. I think he would do it more so that he's more of I guess sexy, free agent for a team. You know what I'm saying?
So
What
my
about the
question for you,
Steelers?
because I don't know if you've been paying attention to
As
the
a
money.
team.
The Steelers, see that's another
Steelers
team
would be interesting.
that have an old quarterback that need a future. But I saw that his cap hit was only like $25 million for another team. So what would the other team? Why wouldn't that be intriguing, considering that starting quarterbacks in the league are going for 30 plus?
I mean, because he's not really proven. I don't think he's really proven much. I don't think.
I mean, if you're talking about his trade value is like right now the lowest I guess it's ever been.
I agree.
I mean, he's just trending in the wrong direction. I mean, there has to be people out there in the league who think like, oh, like I've watched Carson Wentz film, like I can help him. Like we're gonna get back to his MVP season. There has to be people out there who think that and believe that. So, I mean, he'll be on a team next year, obviously. Well, duh. But I think there's a chance he's a starter next year. I do. Like a good chance. I would probably be more surprised if he wasn't a starter next year than if he was a starter.
I think, and I think you said this earlier, I think he still has an opportunity to fight for his job here. But, it's up to him. If he really sits here and says, I'm not going to fight for my job, that's what it is. It is what it is. That's your decision. Rework your contract. We'll find somebody that wants to. And why would $25 million not? Because what she said is perfect. Like, there's going to be somebody that says, I can fix him. You know what I'm saying? And that's true that, look at Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill didn't have the greatest start to his career, and someone said, I can fix him. And they did. Kudos to them. They did. They did what they needed to do to make him a solid quarterback. Someone's going to have to fix Carson Wentz and continue to build around him. So when you have to do that at $25 million and give up a draft pick, the Patriots would be interesting. The Patriots would be actually very interesting. What's the Money Talk podcast? Shout out to you. Always got to say what up to my guy. But keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Patriots. I mean, they're going
to
be interesting.
I don't know. That'd be interesting.
If he went to the Patriots, the Steelers, obviously the Cowboys, but that's unrealistic. But like the Patriots, Steelers, Cowboys would probably be like the three teams that would hurt the most. Like, just as a fan, it would hurt me to watch him in those jerseys. You know what I'm saying? But I think Steelers, if he went to the Steelers, that it would be a snap, and he's going to be taken off because they got great wide receivers. Yeah. They have our old boy Villanueva. I can't ever say his name, but at tackle, they got a solid offensive line, a little bit old. Obviously a great defense. Right now, you could say they're probably losing games because of Ben. So that would be very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's a team that just needs like a quarterback now, like a win now quarterback.
Yeah, facts. And they went 8-8 without their quarterback last year. You throw Wentz in that situation.
Yeah,
that's interesting because that defense was dominant. You know what I'm saying? And other than that quarterback getting hit with his own helmet, I mean, that offensive line was pretty stout. You know what I'm saying? They protected their quarterback. So that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. So what about Daniel Jones? I've heard, conflicting things. And this is why I ask. I've heard some, New York Giants fans being like, oh, we got to give him a shot. He's the future. And I've heard people saying, why is he even still here? Let's start Colt McCoy. I've heard some crazy stuff. So I just want to get like your opinion on your quarterback.
Yeah. So I would say I'm in the middle of those. I'm definitely not sitting here saying start Colt McCoy. Well, obviously when Jones is injured, start Colt McCoy. Like, obviously that's a different situation. Yeah. But listen, like the 49ers game, I think that was week 3. So the 49ers game this year, Giants versus 49ers, that was the first game where I was like concerned. Because after his rookie season, even though I didn't win many games, I was very sold on Daniel Jones. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, he can throw the ball, blah, blah, blah. Like, not that Eli couldn't, and not that any other quarterback can't throw the ball, but I was excited about Daniel Jones. Then week 3 happens, and they get this terrible loss versus basically the 49ers backups. And I start getting concerned about Daniel Jones just not being able to move the ball. And there were situations earlier in the season as well where the Giants had the chance to win the game. They just need to score a touchdown, and they couldn't. So that's a concern because with Eli, Eli thrived in those situations, and not seeing them be able to execute in that situation like at all really started to concern me because eventually, like, you need to have it. Like, this is what I always say with Daniel Jones. It's like, I feel like to be a good quarterback in the NFL, you need to have like the it factor. Like, it's not a stat or an analytical thing or anything like that. It's like when you watch a guy play, like, you can tell, oh, that guy has it. Like Aaron Rodgers. You watch Aaron Rodgers, that guy has it. Patrick Mahomes, that guy has it. Like, I mean, coincidentally, those are the 2 MVP leaders right now. But
there's some correlation here. I'm seeing some correlation here.
Like you watch quarterbacks like that. I mean, there's other ones too, but Russell Wilson. There's a bunch of other guys, and I just haven't felt that with Daniel Jones yet. I'm not a Daniel Jones hater. I'll say that. Like, of course, I want him to win and I want him to do good, but I have my doubts. Like, I can't sit here and say he's the franchise quarterback. Like, I can't sit here and say that comfortably at all. Like, I can't say that because I don't know. And I don't think anyone knows right now for sure anything. Well, obviously, because we're not like looking at the future, but I just haven't seen any flashes of him having it or any plays where I'm like, oh, like this guy is the quarterback of the future. Even during that 4-game win streak, it's a lot of, I mean, this is also part of the game plan. And that's another issue. I have my issues with Jason Garrett, and the play calling it's very complicated. Like, why is every wide receiver running a 2-yard route? Like, I don't understand that. Of course, they're not going to get open. Also, Giants wide receivers, they're kind of an issue too. There's no like tall wide receiver. Like like there's basically 2 slot wide receivers on the team. Like there's always 2 slot wide receivers on the field. It doesn't make a ton of sense. I mean, that's also something. But basically, what it comes down to is this: I haven't seen any it moments from him. He's basically playing game manager when they do win. Bunch of short passes that there's almost near interceptions. But that's gonna happen when you play this short passing game offense for multiple games in a row. Quarterbacks are going to try to jump on that because they see it on film, and then you just continue to do it. I don't know why. But as of right now, like I just haven't seen anything that's like, oh, that guy's it. Like I haven't seen that. And I don't think the Giants are going to draft another quarterback next year because I don't think they want to. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with that, but I just have a feeling they won't. I mean, like the combine still has to happen. There's so many things that still have to happen with the draft and all that. Like you don't even know where they're drafting yet. But I think I'm talking so fast. I think if they change the offensive, I think they do need to make a change for the offensive coordinator. Like the offensive play calling, I don't understand. They need to get a wide receiver 1, like a true wide receiver 1. Someone like Jamar Chase, if they're in that spot at the draft, and then I think you can truly evaluate him next year if those changes happen. And if he's playing the same way he has this year, then he's not. Then I'm sorry. That's it. You're not the quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously I don't make those decisions, but then in my head, that's it. Like, I know you're not the franchise quarterback. And I mean, I watched Eli my whole life. Like, that's the only guy I've watched play quarterback besides, well, like, you know what I mean, growing up. Like, obviously there was the Geno Smith game and Colt McCoy now, but like, and Daniel Jones, but growing up, like, Eli was there every week, and I was spoiled and I didn't know it. Like,
Yeah.
Eli was literally there every single game. Now Daniel Jones has been injured multiple times in his 2-year career. It's not a knock on him, but it's just like, wow, Eli was really just different.
Yeah,
Literally,
facts.
I don't know.
He
Just
was
never
an Iron
heard.
Man.
I don't know how that
Yeah.
happens.
I feel like the Giants didn't really do Daniel Jones. They did him a disservice by getting rid of Odell. Like, I understand, like, Odell needed to mature. Maybe getting away from New York might have been like the way to do it. But then you replace Odell with like a Golden Tate. Like, no knock on
I did
Golden
not
Tate.
understand that.
That
I'll be
dude's a
honest.
warrior. Don't get me wrong. I like Golden Tate's game. I mean, like, he catches the ball with aggression. He's like a running back wide receiver.
Yeah.
But that's just 2 different wavelengths there. Like, Odell was like an all-star in New
Odell
York.
could take a slant for a touchdown. Like,
Yeah.
you could throw a short pass with Odell, and I won't complain because Odell could just, the yards after catch would
Right.
just be the touchdown.
So, with that being said, do you feel like when you saw Saquon go down, do you think that gave Daniel Jones a chance to really kind of flourish this season to say, like, this is my team? Or do you revert back like, damn, I still wish we had Saquon out there. Like, this is Saquon's team more than Daniel Jones.
Well, this is the thing. Like, talking about Odell, I feel like Saquon, is similar to Odell in the regard of, like, the explosive plays. Like, any play Saquon can take for a touchdown. Like, with some of these running backs, I mean, there was a play with Wayne Gallman, who has been really playing well this season, with Saquon Barkley being hurt. He was taking up the sideline. He broke away. It was like I don't know, like maybe a 60-yard run or something. But, a defender, I don't know, like a safety or someone caught up to him or a cornerback. But on that play, if it was Saquon, like, he would have scored the touchdown. Like, he's just a next level athlete, like explosiveness, just like he can score a touchdown anywhere on the field. I don't think necessarily like it gave Daniel Jones a better chance to show like that this is his team, because I think he would have played better with Saquon Barkley there, just because Saquon can score a touchdown from anywhere, and the Giants really haven't been scoring touchdowns. Like, there's like Wayne Gallman, like I said, has been good, but when Saquon is out there, like, there's always got to be like I feel like an extra guy over there because of that.
Facts.
And I don't think it necessarily hurt Daniel Jones' development that much, but I just don't think it was good. Like I think he would have played better.
Yeah, I love Saquon, man.
I
I'm
love
a Penn
Saquon
State
too.
fan.
He's
Yeah, I'm a
probably my
Penn State
favorite
fan.
player.
So
Really? Yeah.
yeah, when you guys the week before you guys drafted him, I should say, I was like getting trolled by my whole family. They were just like, "Oh, we're gonna get your boy. Tell me about your boy. I want to hear more." Like, I hated that you guys watching him stay in blue was probably the worst moment of my life. But either way, let me ask you this though: like,
I
if
was super happy. Like I
sure
wanted
you
them to
were.
draft him. I was afraid they were going to draft Sam Darnold when the Browns didn't take him, and no, the Giants did, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, he's a generational talent, man. I mean,
He is. And some Giants fans talking about trading him, and I'm just like, stop.
I was just gonna ask you. Because I've been hearing that for the Cowboys. I've been hearing that for the Giants. I was gonna call it the Eagles, but I've been hearing that for the Cowboys and for the Giants. Is it, would you think about moving on? And we'll do obviously the Giants and the Cowboys because I already know what you're gonna say for the Giants. But
Yeah.
would you move on from a marquee piece like that? Say the Cowboys don't re-sign Dak. Would you just say let's blow it up and get rid of Zeke and rebuild from there?
Well, should I address the Giants or no?
Yeah, no, go ahead, please. Of course.
I mean, with the Giants, like I feel like you can't trade Saquon, especially right now. People are like, oh, Wayne Gallman's been doing well. Like, we don't need Saquon. He's injury prone. This, that. Like, I don't know if he's necessarily injury prone. I wouldn't say that. Yes, I know he had an injury last year as well, but like this year, it seemed like he kind of got shaken up right before he tore his ACL. Like, and then he came back into the game. I don't know exactly what happened. Like, that's just me kind of speculating. So whatever, take that as you will. But like so many players got hurt this year. This was a weird year. It's not just like, oh, Saquon's injury prone. I wouldn't say that. But you don't trade a guy like that because also trade value wise, it's at its all-time low, I would say right now, just like with Carson Wentz. And then what you're going to get back is not going to be anything close to Saquon Barkley. Like you're just like I can never picture a trade for him and picture me being happy, being like, oh, that works out. Like that's just talking about value wise, not even emotion wise, like just value wise. I can't see a deal where it's like that. So I would not trade Saquon. But for the Cowboys, if they don't re-sign Dak, I don't know what they do quarterback wise. Then are they drafting a quarterback? If let's say they draft, like I don't know, let's say they draft Zach Wilson, which I hope they don't because I like Zach Wilson. I don't know. See, that's the thing with Zeke as well. Zeke is also not having a great season. Fumbling issue just all of a sudden happened this year. Maybe you keep a guy like that if you're drafting a rookie quarterback for your rookie quarterback to lean on. I don't know if I would trade him this offseason. I don't know, maybe next season, during the season, if something happens and some team needs a running back and you want to trade him, yeah, maybe. But I just can't see a team trading like anything great for Ezekiel Elliott right now, at least.
Yeah, as an Eagles fan, I think they should trade him for maybe like a 7th-round pick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
maybe a patch of Sour Patch Kids. You know what I'm saying? Something small. But what do you think, Brandon?
So for Saquon, the Giants couldn't move him. The only way you're trading Saquon is if the Colts promise you their whole offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon is so loved here too, though. Like everyone loves him here. Like I don't know anyone who doesn't love Saquon. Maybe the people that are saying trade him, but even those people like him. I feel like he's just like great guy. I don't know him, but from watching him play
get the vibes
in his interviews, he just seems like a great guy.
No, but yeah, I mean, you can't trade that's like you said, generational talent. Like you can't just give up on him just because he got hurt. There's been so many players that have tore their ACL this 1 year. It's been insane. So like you said, you can't just it's just him. Like nope. Mostly, almost every team has one guy that tore their ACL this year.
Yeah,
it feels like, but. Regarding the Cowboys, see, that's where it's tough because if no one's going to take Wentz because of his contract, who's going to want Zeke because of his contract? That dude got paid. He ain't looking that great. Like, obviously, he has these short bursts where it's like, whoa, is Zeke popping back? And then all of a sudden, it stops. Maybe it's play calling. Maybe it's Zeke getting tired. He ends up like pulling himself out in like big moments at times. And the only way you could get away with it is that Tony Pollard's actually not that bad of a running back. He
Yeah.
has speed and he's pretty good. So if you were to somehow find someone that wanted Zeke for that contract, then yeah, the Cowboys can afford to do it because of a Tony Pollard. Wayne Gallman's cool, but that ain't Saquon.
No, it's not. I don't understand why people were like, no disrespect to Wayne Gallman because he's had a pretty good season and has had a bunch of exciting plays. Like this, like I just people who see Wayne Gallman play for a few games and just think, okay, we're good. We don't need Saquon. Like that just blows my mind. Like
yeah, Saquon is different, man. And I'm gonna say also you want to keep him because he's probably your only offensive lineman that you have that's consistent, and he's a running back. A lot of people.
I mean, listen though, his pass protection actually isn't that great. Like
it was good in Penn State. You guys are messing it up, then.
I don't know. We've had offensive line coaching issues, so I don't know.
Then I'm blaming it on that because he was good in Penn State, man. But I mean, he's solid. He's a tree trunk down there, man.
Yeah, he is.
Boy is just big. So I would definitely not give up Saquon without a question. And like you said, you're not getting back anywhere near the value you would give up giving him up. So. Yeah, that's a definite no for me. We all have those fans, though. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. I was one of those fans with Wentz. Early in the season, I was over here calling for Hurts. So, sometimes those people are right, sometimes those people are wrong. But it is what it is. But as far as Zeke, if it comes down to what you're really going to do. If, like I said, if you're going to blow it up and you can find good value for him, maybe, because we all know the shelf life of running backs are not that great. So, maybe you do go and try and go towards the future if you're not going to get Dak. But if you get Dak back, bars, that just rhymed. But if you're going to get Dak back in the building, I think you just bring back your team. You know what I'm saying? You keep going forward and you chalk this down as just a weird season because I think that's the only thing that was even holding to go back to him, even holding Carson Wentz in the starting lineup, that it was such a weird season and so much was going on around him. It's hard to really, like you even said about Daniel Jones, it's hard to evaluate your players, especially your quarterback, when you don't have the same starting 11 every week. It's right. It's a different, cast of characters every freaking week. I've learned new names that I know an auto detailer, that just played cornerback for us. So it's crazy the amount of people that have come off the streets, but I don't see any of them moving. I think, like I said, it's a lot of rumors, a lot of people getting a little bit overreactions going, a little bit. They're itching. The NFC East is, I think, and I think Brandon said this before, I think the worst part of this season for every team is that we have a chance every week. So it's just so frustrating because even if you guys were 10-6, if the Cowboys were 10-6 or whatever it may be,
over.
It would be over. The conversations about Carson being benched wouldn't be that big because it would be looked at as like a protection type thing. You know what I'm saying? But it just is what it is. I think we all wouldn't mind a playoff game, but it just kind of ruins everything. It's weird.
The only thing I'll say is this, though. I mean, I'm not like saying, oh, tank or anything like that. But whoever does win the division, and if they lose in the first round, their draft spot, like I feel like the rest of the NFC East is going to be like top 10, and then like whoever wins is going to be like 17 or 20 or something. Like, rest of the NFC East getting like whatever. Good.
That's
draft
the worst part about it.
Oh God! And I think
that's the worst part about it.
Yeah, I think the Eagles, if any team, especially because of our cap, we probably need that top 10 pick, probably the most, if I'm being honest. Like,
you guys got to get it right. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we gotta. Don't say we can't draft worth a.
I can't believe passed on DK. Who else?
Everybody. We just pass on. J-Jaw is the worst player I've ever seen in my life.
There's a stat though. Whenever he's not on the field, we lose, and when he is suited up, we have won. So, hey, J-Jaw's a good luck charm.
I would believe that.
No, seriously.
I still blame all of our losses on him. Like, even if he doesn't play, him and Nathan Gary, I blame everything on them. Like, even if they're not playing, even if they're not even in the building, you could have not traveled with the team. If we lose, I'm blaming it on you. I'm blaming it on you. So, all right, let me ask you this before we get up out of here. I want to get everybody's final thoughts on the NFC East and final predictions. What do you think is going to happen?
I think as much as I would love Washington to lose, because then at least that would make. I mean, granted, the games
And
on
there'd be hope.
Sunday. Yeah, the games on Sunday are going to be exciting no matter what. Are the Giants playing at 4:00 as well?
I think they're playing at 1. I think.
So they're the only
4 o'clock
1:00 team
was
because they flexed Washington to 4:00, which kind of stinks. But at least it gives me some suspense because if Washington wins at 1:00, then we all know it's all over.
Yeah.
But I do think they're going to win. I don't see how Washington doesn't play their best game against their new head coach's former team. And the Panthers are nothing to be excited about. And I don't even think Christian McCaffrey's playing.
I didn't even think of that. That's crazy.
So
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together that bad.
Yeah, so you figure what the coach has been through, and if Alex Smith plays, it's pretty much a wrap at that point.
Yeah, they're just like a gritty team, I feel.
Yeah, their defense is stout. Like Ronald Darby, who used to be an Eagle, looks better now, mostly because he's playing where his defensive line is probably, if not the best in the league, maybe not statistical wise, but name wise and where they were drafted
they're
wise.
All like first round talents.
Yeah, they're
right?
all first round picks. It's all there's like 5 of them. So I think Washington is going to end up winning the division. I hope I'm wrong. And if it's not Washington, then let it be the Eagles. And if it's not the Eagles, then the Giants. And then
he's got a whole list. Like this is the whole
Cowboys just
as long as it's not the Cowboys. But
I would be cool if they just like out of nowhere were like, you know what? Let's just do like that. What was it? The top 14 teams they were going to do? And just, if none of us win and it's the Cowboys that end up winning, just kick them out. It's fine. We'll be cool with that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's my prediction. I think Washington's probably going to take this thing to the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Washington they almost beat the Seahawks. They came very close to beating the Seahawks. Washington has been, on a streak. Well, not anymore, but they've been trending in the right direction. And I don't see the Cowboys, the Giants beating the Ravens. Like, I don't know, the Ravens are another team that's getting hot right now.
Yeah.
Right. And see, that's the thing. Everyone's kind of like, at least from what I talk to, because I usually talk to like Eagles or Cowboys fans, is that everyone keeps like getting excited. Oh, if Washington loses, then we have a chance. But no one's counting the Giants because unfortunately, you guys got the hardest team on the list.
Yeah, the last 2. Well, yeah, the Ravens in the last game is actually versus the Cowboys. But, I mean, the Cowboys still have a chance to win, too. It's not like the Cowboys game is going to be easy or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly,
the loser of the Eagles-Cowboys, if Washington loses, are done after that. So that's like a playoff game in itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird how every team is so bad, but still in it. It's just like, I feel like almost like half the teams like in the NFC that are still like in the hunt, as they say, are in the NFC East. It's just like the records, it'll be like in the hunt, like, and then all the good records, then it'll be like the NFC East record. 5 wins.
Seriously, it's embarrassing. I mean, we used to be known as the NFC Beast, Maybe one day we'll get back to that. I think, like I said, like we've been saying, I think this year is kind of a one-off. Once everybody kind of gets right, maybe the Eagles are going to have the biggest amount of changes next year with this quarterback switch. Maybe we won't. Maybe everything goes back to normal and, Thor snaps his fingers and we're just all, nothing happened this year. That's what I'm hoping. I just hope this all gets, forgotten and next year we're going back to being NFC East champs. But as far as a prediction, I think I got to agree with you guys. I think that the Washington, especially now realizing that, he is playing his former team. I don't know why I didn't put that together, but it should be interesting. I think Washington should probably have the easiest road there out of everybody else. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We will see. Do you think anybody in the NFC East, if it stood, I think like how it stands right now, that Seattle would be the guys we would face. Is there any team in NFC East that you think would be able to steal that game?
I think Washington can, honestly. I mean, they almost just beat them with Dwayne Haskins.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If Alex
Smith wasn't the starter before that. Like, Alex Smith was like the starter for multiple weeks and like in there as a starter and practicing as a starter and all that. So I think they could do it. I really think they could. And I want to see that, actually. I want to see Washington beat Seattle in the playoffs. Like, let's just go crazy.
Yeah, facts. Imagine somebody from the NFC East wins the Super Bowl. The storyline.
That would be insane.
That would be
I would
so
love
crazy.
So you're saying I'm Washington too, Brandon?
Yeah.
All right. I just had to make sure. All right. But
I mean,
anyway,
hey, if the Eagles got there, maybe after going like 0-10 versus Russell Wilson, we can get that one win. So I don't know. I hate if we have to play the Seahawks in the playoffs. That's just so demoralizing. I wouldn't even be excited about the game because we lose them all the time.
Imagine that be the one though.
That would be a nice one to finally win.
Yeah.
That would be the one we would actually win. I don't know, man. It's the NFC East is not pretty. It's not beautiful, but at least we have each other, right?
I feel like everyone this year is just like, oh yeah, we all stink. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least we can finally like come together on something. I feel like the NFC East is always so divided. So
yeah.
Merry Christmas. We all got unity this year, I guess, but it is what it is. Hey, but listen, man, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show and just chopping it up with us.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know to everybody in the comments, I did not go through any of the comments. I'm sorry. It was just a good conversation. I was having fun. But I love you all. Thank you so much for chilling with us. Other than that, we do have the giveaway coming back. I know we said we would let you decide, but we're just gonna pick a winner, and then you guys just decide you want. If you want the jersey, if you want money, whatever, it's cool. We don't care. But yeah, just subscribe, and really that's it. Just man, I love you guys. So yeah, we about to be out of here. Is there anything you guys want to say before we get out of here?
No, just happy holidays, and make sure you guys sub up Lauren down there.
Yeah, her link's in the bio, or description. I always say bio. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, whatever it is, bio description. But yeah, thank you guys for having me. This was a fun conversation. Yeah, happy holidays, everyone.
Are you a Yankees fan?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Oh, well, there you go. You're gonna have to come back on baseball season.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to have you back when.
Oh wait, do you guys see the Yankees stuff over there?
No, I think I saw it on one of your
videos over there. Yeah, I'm a Yankees fan. What are you guys?
Yankees fans.
Okay, yeah.
So you got love here, girl. You got love.
Yeah, here we go. Baseball. We're on the same
team. But yeah, so like I said, I appreciate everybody coming on here. Other than that, you know what it is, man. It is still Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here.